right, the other day we started our lesson or the unit with volume and surface area. And we started off working with volume of prisms. And our formula is volume equals base times height. And what we had to do is figure out the shape of the base and substitute in it for the uppercase B. It was either a square, it was a rectangle, it was a circle, or a triangle. And I gave you the different formulas. Length times width for square and rectangle. Circle was pi r squared, and for a triangle, it was base times height divided by 2. We're going to continue our lesson today, and instead of prisms, we're going to work with pyramids. And our central question is, how can I calculate the volume of pyramids? So, if you will copy this central question down, please, and put this in your notes. And again, pause the video, start it back as you need to, and go on from there. All right, so volume of pyramids. This is going to be working on section 13.4 from digits. Pyramids, as you all know, studying history, you know pyramids, what they look like. You have what are called square pyramids, and you have what are called triangular pyramids. Pyramids are classified based on the shape of their base. As you'll notice down here, this appears to have what is called a rectangular base. Some may look at that as being a square, so that would be like a square pyramid. So, what is the formula for the volume of a pyramid? As we progress, or as you progress through this unit, you're going to see there are more and more formulas. So, get in the habit of writing these formulas down. So, what is the formula for volume of a pyramid? The formula that I'm going to start off with is volume equals 1/3 base times height. We all know what the uppercase B represents. It's the area of the base. So if the base is a square, you use the formula for a square for the uppercase B. If it's a triangle base, you use the formula 1/2 base times height. And substitute that in for the uppercase B. And then we all know height, that lowercase h represents the height of the prism. So to calculate the volume of a pyramid, first we're going to find the area of the base using the appropriate formula for the shape. Okay? That is nothing new than what we did the other day. So I'm going to just kind of highlight that. The next thing we're going to do is multiply that by the height, dh. That is the height of the overall shape. What I want you to pay attention to is over here at this pyramid on the left-hand side. So if you look at this pyramid, you'll notice here we have the base down here at the bottom. Then you have this dotted line. I'm going to erase this in just a second. But what I want you to notice, that dotted line, when it intersects the middle of that base down at the bottom, it forms that right angle. That represents the height of the shape of the pyramid. It is not the distance on the slanted side. That is not the height. The height, imagine being at a point, dropping a line straight down. That would be the height of the pyramid. So, the height of the pyramid is not the distance or the measurement of the slanted side. It's the distance straight from the point, straight down the middle to the bottom of that pyramid. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is this formula. Volume equals 1/3 base times height. We know the formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. What does that 1/2 mean? That means we're going to divide it by 2. So another formula I want you to write down for volume of a pyramid, instead of saying 1/3 base times height, I want you to put the formula as being base times height, still the uppercase B, lowercase h, divided by 3. That's the one I'm going to focus on. So, number 2 down here says multiply that by the height of the figure, and then number 3 is going to be exactly what I just talked about, where we multiply by 1/3 or divide by 3. And this is the part I want you to concentrate on, where we divide it by 3. So these are the 3 steps. We're going to find the area of the base by using the appropriate formula, just like we did with prisms. Number 2, we're going to multiply that by the height, which is the height of the distance from the top of the pyramid straight down to the bottom. And then we're going to divide that by 3, and that would give us our volume. So let's go over some examples. All right, we have a square pyramid here. Now, I have this formula here, but I'm going to change it. Just know that these 2 formulas give you the same answer. And I'm going to work it both ways just to kind of give you an idea. Alright, so we have this pyramid over here. It has a square rectangular bottom. We know if it's this shape, we have to substitute in length times width. If it's a circle, we have to substitute pi r squared. And if it's a triangle, we have to substitute base times height divided by 2. That is all what we substitute to go into the uppercase B. So if we look at this pyramid, we see that the base has a length of 11.6 and a width of 11.6. So obviously that represents a square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute this formula right here in for the uppercase B. So I'm going to focus on this formula right here. So the uppercase B is a square, or the base is a square, so I'm going to substitute in length times width for the uppercase B. And then I have the lowercase h, which is in the formula. And then we divide all that by 3 once we multiply. So our length and width is 11.6. So I multiply 11.6 times 11.6. And then we multiply that by the height. The height of the overall shape, as you can see here, is 15 centimeters. So I multiply that by 15. And then we want to divide everything by 3. So order of operations, we're going to do what's on top first. So we multiply 11.6 times 11.6. And that's going to give you 134.56. We're going to then multiply that times 15 and then divide that by 3. So 134.56 times 15 gives you 2,018.4. We're going to divide that by 3. So when we divide 2,018.4, divide that by 3, that's going to give us an answer of 672.8 centimeters cubed. Remember, volume is cubed, or cubic units. So, let me go back through this. The uppercase B represents the base. The base here is a square because it's 11.6. 11.6, so I substitute the formula for a square. Length times width, which is what I did right here. Length times width gives you 11.6 times 11.6. Our lowercase h, in this case, is the height. It's 15, so I substituted 15, and then divided it by 3, which when we then do the multiplication and division gives you 672.8 centimeters cubed. All right, let's take care of this one. All right, let me write the formula, base times height, divided by 3. All right, let's look at the base. We have a triangular base, so a triangle has the formula of base times height divided by 2. A circle has pi r squared, and a square and rectangle, we use length times width. So obviously this is a triangle, so our uppercase B has to be the formula for a triangle. So our uppercase B, we're going to use base times height divided by 2. Now that represents just the uppercase B. So we've got to do all that. Then we have to multiply that times the height of the shape. Then we have to divide it by 3. So don't get confused on all these different steps. So just take it step by step. Let's focus just on the inside part. The base times height divided by 2. So let's look at the base of this pyramid. This base has a triangular base. So I want to look on the base of that triangle, just the base of that triangle, the two measurements that form a right angle. If you look at it, you can see the right angle drawn in. So that means this 24 is a base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 24. And then this measurement right here forms this right angle. So our height is going to be 20.8. And all of that has to be divided by 2. So that is what represents just this portion of the formula. Then all of that is going to be multiplied by the lowercase h. Lowercase h, we talked about, represents the distance from top to bottom. So that distance from top to bottom is 19.6. Let me erase that. So that gives us 19.6. Everything there has to be divided by 3. Alright, I know it seems like a lot, it is a lot of steps, so just take it one step at a time. Please use pencil and paper. If you don't use pencil and paper, I promise you will mess up. Alright, so we're going to focus, first of all, on the inside right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 24 times 20.8. That gives you an answer of 499.2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this problem and continue working it right here. So the inside gives us 499.2. We have to divide that by 2. Then we're going to multiply that by 19.6. Then we divide all of that by 3. Alright, so I'm just taking it step by step. Alright, I'm still focusing on the inside here. So 499.2 divided by 2 gives you 249.6. We're going to multiply that by 19.6. Then we're going to divide it by 3. And again, taking it step by step. So 249.6 times 19.6 gives you 4,892.16. We're going to divide that now by 3. So when we divide 4,892.16 divided by 3, that gives you an answer of 1,630.72 centimeters cubed. So that would be our volume of this triangular pyramid. All right, let's look at this one. This is a square pyramid. All right, so our formula, volume equals base times height divided by 3. We know we have a square base. So our square formula we're going to plug in for the B is going to be length times width. We're going to multiply that by the overall height, then divide it by 3. So what I want you to do is I want you to work through this problem. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the numbers. All right, we look right here, that measurement that's going across the base of that square at the bottom is a measurement of 4. So this measurement right along the edge here is 4, which means that would also be 4. So our length and width is 4 times 4. Our height is what goes from top to bottom, which would be 6. We're going to divide all of that by 3. So if you'll multiply and divide to find this volume here. Okay. What I want you to do is to work the remainder of this problem to get this answer. All right, let's go to another one. All right, you have 3 different pyramids here. Number 1, that is a square pyramid. Number 2 is obviously a square pyramid. And 3 is also a square pyramid. So for each one of these, when we use the formula, base times height divided by 2, since it's a square pyramid, the uppercase B, we're going to use the formula for a square, which is length times width. Multiply that times the lowercase h, and divide that by 2. So what I want you to do is I want you to work through these 3 problems here. And I'm going to do the first one for you, so that way you'll only have to do 2 and 3. So our length and width on number 1 is 10 and 10. So I'm going to do 10 times 10. Our height, as you can see, our height right here is 9. So our lowercase h in the formula is going to be a 9. And then we're going to divide all of that by 3. This is one that's kind of easy you can do in your head. All right, we got 10 times 10, which is 100. 100 times 9 is 900. And then 900 divided by 3 gives you 300. So that would be our volume, 300 inches cubed. So if you will take care of number 2 and number 3 here. All right, and then if you'll work this one. And this has a square base. And then if you will work this one. This has a triangular base. And let me go back real quick.